Hi everyone, welcome to Torah from Braude Shiurim. The Shiur today is going to be on Shavuot, which is rapidly approaching. And most of the Shiur is something that I heard from Rabbi Binyamin Walters, with a lot of my own different spins and insights put in. But something that Rabbi Binyamin Walters spoke about was the Shemitah cycles, which is that every seventh year is a Shemitah. It's a time of rest, a full year where we let the land rest. And we know that it doesn't just apply to the land, but it also applies to us. In our days, we have 7 days, and the seventh day, Shabbat, is a day of rest. And so we have the same. For us, there's 7 days in Shabbat, and then there's the land, which is in years, that every seventh year is the Shemitah. But Shemitah also applies to our years. We know that we also have a rest every 7 years. And the sages teach that Mashiach will come in the 7,000th year, which is Shabbat. So how do we understand it? Is if we have 7 days and then Shabbat, then we have 7 years and the Shemitah, well, we also have our millennium, where it says that 1,000 days to us is 1 day to Hashem. So if Hashem created the world in 7 days, currently the Jewish year is 5785. And so we are in this 5,000th year, and when we get to the 6,000th, that's Friday, that's Yom Shishi. That's the day where we really start all our preparations for Shabbos, all our preparations for the 7,000th year. And we start to welcome in Shabbos. Some people even take it in early, right? And so we're getting closer to this time of Geula, this time where we start to welcome in this eternal day of rest, the 7,000th year. However, it's not the end. It doesn't just stop there. We don't live our 7 days, the 7,000th year, and after that, it's done. Shabbat, as we know, gives to the next week. So it says that we sing this every Friday, that Shabbat blesses the week to come. And we know from our teachers that it takes the whole week in the past, brings it together, and now it gives to the next week, and it blesses the next week. So the same goes here. The 7,000th year will be a cosmic shift. It will, in our reality, change the way that we see the world. But there will be an 8,000th year. And so on, until we get to the next Shemitah cycle, which eventually will be a Yovel. Eventually, after 7 cycles of 7,000 years, we're going to get to this Yovel, which is the 50th. So we have Shavuot, which is the 50th day. After Pesach, we started counting Sfirat to Omer every day. We got to 7 of 7, which is 49. And this is the 50th day. And that's something that I want to go into when we're speaking about Shavuot. Just like we have it in the greater scheme, we also have it in every week. That each Shabbos should be a miniature cosmic shift for us. And every 50th day will be another Shavuot, another cosmic shift, where we're freed even more to worship Hashem and to connect to Him. We will return to our land, our makom, which is Hashem, right? I've taught this before, but Hashem's name, Yud Kei Vav Kei, if you square each letter, you end up with the same gematria as Hamakom. However, we must observe the Shemitah. In order to get to that, we have to observe it. We have to put in our real effort, and then we'll see the results. We know that. By pushing ourselves beyond our abilities, that's where we start to see change. And that's what the Rashbi taught. The Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said that we shouldn't just learn within our constraints. Push yourself to learn the Zohar, a text that's truly beyond our understanding. And you won't get it all, but you'll raise yourself to a higher level, slowly, by pushing yourself, by making the unknowable knowable. Shavuot is said to connect to Keter. Keter is the highest sphira, the crown. Why? Because we're receiving the Keter Torah. That's what they call it, the Keter Torah, the crown of Torah, the crown of our people. And Shavuot has always, for me, it's always been a time that kind of came and went. I didn't really understand it. I understand that we eat cheesecake, and maybe we'll hear the 10 Commandments being read, but it's never impacted me. I didn't understand what I learned from the holiday. It was different like Pesach, where we had a seder or things like that. But Shavuot, I understood this year, is coming from a place of Keter. That's what it is. Keter is like a crown. It sits on your head. It's not a part of you. It's not something that's within you. Sometimes this holy day can feel separate and not a part of you. And that's okay. That's how it is, because it's coming from this place. Turns out that's exactly the reason it's such a special day. Because on the day we received the Torah, we said to Hashem, whatever you say, I'll do. We will do and we will follow. Or we will do and we will understand. We're saying, Na'aseh v'nishma, that it can be completely outside of what I think is logical, but I'll do it because you said so, because you said it's right. And on this day, on the day of Shavuot, we devote ourselves to the Torah in a way that defies our logic. We need to go beyond what I gain from the Torah and reach a place of accepting whatever Hashem wants to give us in the realm of Torah. In Judaism, we know that time is cyclical, right? Each holiday or each holy day, we're going back to this place in time that we recognize. We're again experiencing the waves of time as they affect us. And this wave is coming up again of saying it's time to celebrate Shavuot. The wave comes up on Rosh Hashanah and says it's time to sound the shofar. The wave comes up on Sukkot and says it's time to go into a sukkah. That's how you maximize the energy of this time. But what about Shavuot? On Shavuot, we go into the Torah. We say in our tefillot, Aya kavodo, where is your glory? Where is the place of your glory, Hashem? And we understand that Hashem fills the heavens and the earth. And because of that, we don't see Him as much, because He's everywhere. He surrounds us entirely. But where do we see Him most clearly? The place that we can see Him is in the Torah. So when you go into the Torah, you see Him with clarity. That's where His glory is. That's where we can find Him. And during this time, that's what we should do. Connect to Him in that way. The Zohar actually says that Shavuot is the center of the Jewish year. And it's Keter Torah. Keter, the top. It's the center. It's where we begin. And Malchut is kingship. So we've counted now through the Sefirot, Chesed of Chesed, Chesed Gevurah, all the 7 Sefirot. We've got into Malchut of Malchut, the 49th day, and now after Malchut of Malchut, we're starting from the top with Keter. And Keter is that which sits on the head. It's touching but not touching. It's slightly removed from us. Yet it's like a father who's standing just out of reach of his child, so his child can draw close to him. This is what Hashem does to us. Learning Torah is our avoda. It's what keeps us living in this world. It's an etz chaim, a tree of life, that if you hold on to it, it will give you life. So when we stop learning in this world, we start to decline, mentally and physically. There's a famous teaching that I've seen from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that people should not retire. When you stop pushing yourself and you stop learning and driving, you start to decline. If you're not learning, you're growing. If you're not growing, you're going down. If you're not going up, you're going down. It says at the very end of the Torah portion, this is what I want to conclude with, that it says at the end of the Torah, before the eyes of all Israel. Those are the last words of the Torah. The most impactful part of a speech or any story is the beginning and the end. And we have even from the Balaturim where it says Bereshit bara Elokim. Bereshit, the first word, is Beit Reshit, 2 beginnings. And so we can understand that this end of the Torah portion, where it says before the eyes of all Israel, there's something there we need to learn. And we know the eyes are important. We know that it says about Israel that it's the land where Hashem's eyes watch over from the beginning until the end. The eyes, as we know, are the cliche of the windows to the soul. And the critical differential between us and the nations of the world is that we all witnessed Hashem giving the Torah. So on this day of Shavuot, something that we must connect to, something that we must reinvigorate within ourselves, is our connection to Torah and our connection to Hashem. We must go into the Torah. We must push ourselves to learn more, connect to the Keter of the day, by learning things that we might not even understand. But by pushing yourself in that way, you expand your mind, you expand your horizons, and you do exactly what the Torah wants you to do, which is grow and elevate Hashem's glory and name in this world. Chag Sameach.